Building a strike force for Firefight is easy, but in order to make sure you're on the right path, I'm here to explain the basics to you. I'm Andy from BlackJack Legacy, and this is Firefight List Building 101. First off, you need to decide how many points you're going to want to play. Typical games range from about 1,000 points to about 1,500 points. However, you can go both smaller or larger than that. Because I'm doing this video as part of the BlackJack Legacy Firefight Slow Grow campaign, I'll be showing you how to build 1,000 point list, and you can then tweak it to suit your own games. Now the biggest question you need to ask yourself, which faction are you going to play? There are currently 7 factions to choose from in Firefight, and all of them have a great miniatures range by Mantic to choose from. You can either go down my usual path, which is just choose the ones you think has the coolest models, or maybe you've read some of the background stories and have a faction that really feels like they'd be fun to play. Or maybe you have a great colour scheme in mind that you can try out on one of those factions. Whatever your reason for choosing, just make sure you decide based upon something you have a connection with. It's also worth noting you can't mix and match between factions, so keep that in mind when making your choice. So what now then? Well, now we get to look over the different options for your strike force. Unlike some other games, all the options you can field and their points are all in one book, the appropriately named Force List book. Here, you'll see all of the different options available to you, their stats and their point cost. You can also go on to the Mantic companion app, which is a really useful tool. Now the options available to you are broken down into 4 different unit types. We have Command, Troop, Specialist and Support. Some unit types can only be chosen by unlocking them with other units you've chosen. Let me explain this. You must start your force list by taking at least 1 command unit in your strike force. Who's going to lead your band of expertly trained soldiers, or at least try and herd your plague of rats if you don't have a command unit? Command units are special in that not only are they generally cool looking models, but they also give some flavour to your force. Command units give you extra, handily named, command dice, which allow you to potentially increase your number of command points every turn, which you can then spend on faction orders. Some command units may give you an extra black command dice, or even 2 to add to your dice pool, whereas some may give you the more lucrative orange or green dice. Also adding to the flavour of your force are something called command orders. Each command unit comes with their own specific command order that only they can use. These give some interesting options to your force and mean you can really change how a strike force feels by changing out your command models. Anyway, back to list building. You must take a command unit as your first option, and then this will unlock your ability to take troop units. Troop units are the real core of your army. These are the fighters that will make up the bulk of your strike force. You can take as many troop units as your total points allowance will let you. However, with so many other great units, where's the fun in that? Taking 1 troop unit then unlocks your ability to take either another command unit or a specialist unit. Yes, you can have more than 1 command unit, and as they bring those extra command dice and command orders, I'd highly recommend that you do so. Specialist units are also pretty handy too, and as their name suggests, these have some specialist skills. These tend to be your elite units with some special abilities or weaponry. Now the last unit type you can unlock are support units. In order to unlock these, you need to have a combination of any 2 troop, specialist or command units. However, you cannot use any unit to unlock more than once. So as an example, if you have a troop of assault enforcers and you use these to unlock a specialist jet bike, you couldn't then use that same unit of assault enforcers to combine with the jet bikes to unlock a support unit. You'd need another troop unit, for example. Make sense? Good. Now let's move on to an example of building a 1,000 point list. For this, I'll be using the enforcers because I like them. Let's use the Enforcer Strike Force box as a great way to get you started. Starting with the command unit, we have a great option here in the box with the Peacekeeper Captain at 110 points. Let's also give him the free alternative loadout and give him Phase Claws because, well, they look great, don't they? Leaving him all alone on the battlefield doesn't feel like a great idea, so we have the option to also give him up to 2 Peacekeepers to support him for 35 points each, so let's do that. This means our first command unit tops out at 180 points. This unlocks our ability to take troop units now, so let's get started on those. Let's take a 5-person troop of assault enforcers. I always like to upgrade one of the enforcers with an optional upgraded weapon, so here I'm going to go with an incinerator for 10 more points. This all adds up to a total of 95 points for this unit. In the Enforcer Strike Team box you get 20 enforcers, so I'll also make a second 5-person squad exactly the same. So, including our command unit, we've so far spent a total of 370 points. We've also unlocked the ability to add 2 additional command units, 2 support units, or 1 specialist unit because we have 2 troop units now. In this case, let's add 2 specialist units. In this set, we get 4 jet bikes, so let's build them as 2 identical 2-bike units. Let's keep them standard with their Dominator rifles for a base cost of 80 points each for a 2-bike unit. This 160 points brings us up to 530 points total, so just over halfway to our 1000 points. Now we've used our 2 Assault Enforcer troops to unlock the jet bikes, so we need more troops to unlock further options. Here we'll build a 5-person unit of Enforcer operatives. Again, I like to upgrade one Assault Enforcer with an optional weapon, and in this one I'm going to equip the Incinerator for 5 points, which brings the cost of the unit up to 125 points. Using the last 5 Enforcer models in the box, I build a second unit exactly the same. This 250 points brings our total to 780 points, leaving us with 220 points to play with. The Strike Team box comes with 5 Peacekeepers, and as we've used 2 of those as a command upgrade, we can use the remaining 3 as a Peacekeeper unit. A unit costs 80 points for 2 Peacekeepers, and we can add the extra one for an additional 35 points. Let's also give one of them the optional Burst Laser upgrade for 5 points, bringing the Peacekeeper unit to a total of 120 points. Adding this to our running total, we're now at 900 points. Now very handily we have an Accuser Interceptor model left to add, and in its base build this costs 100 points. This is a support model which takes 2 units to unlock, but the Peacekeeper unit and the 2 Assault Enforcers we've just added, this gives us more than enough to be able to do this. This brings our total to 1000 points, bang on the nose. So there you go. That's how a list build for beginners in Firefight, and it also shows you just how much value you're getting in those Firefight strike boxes too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.